When did you forget that you were royalty? This is a question worth pondering. When did we stop remembering our King? When did the language of our forefathers go distant on our tongue? When did we begin to live as though covenant no longer bind us, as though echadness were lost, as though we were children of darkness? We are not. We were chosen to be light, clothed with righteousness, chosen for service, set apart for YaHUaH. You came from a people called, gathered, and named. We had a melech, we had a covering, we had a place. And somewhere along the way, the memory dimmed. So today, we begin with returning. We turn to the King. We turn to the covenant. We turn to who you were before you forgot. In the Hebraic mind, to remember is not to recall information. It is to return to the Ruach. To remember is to turn the heart back to its rightful place where breath first entered. Before the King, under his authority, within his covenant. And yet, forgetting did not happen all at once. It happened slowly, through exile, through the traditions of men, through voices that replaced his voice, through coverings that were never meant to shield us. And in that forgetting, identity blurred, purpose lost, and the people learned to live uncovered. But the woman of valor, she is marked by remembrance. She pauses. She does not rush forward in strength of her own. She does not stand exposed before the day. She seeks covering. And she returns not first to action, but to order. She returns beneath the King. She returns through the way he established. She returns desiring to be gathered, cleansed, and restored. She understands something ancient. When YaHUaH restores his people, he begins by restoring the covering. He restored the heart before he restored the land. He restores remembrance before he restores authority. This is how we remember our King, by standing under his strength, not by taking position, but by receiving covering, not by ruling ourselves, but by returning to him so that his people might be restored. And it is here, after remembrance, after returning, that we lean fully into the word, because in Hebraic mind, understanding is concrete. It is lived. It tells you what to do and how to stand under his tapestry. 𝑚𝒉𝒆 𝑏𝒕. She makes covering for herself. Proverbs 31, verse 22. Each word carries instruction. 𝑚𝒉𝒆, tapestries, coverings, layered cloths. From the root ravad, meaning to spread, to layer, to arrange with intention. This is not a single garment. It is layers placed in order. She does not relay in one garment of faith. Her covering is built carefully, layer upon layer, precept upon precept, obedience, reverence, remembrance, restraint. A people will be protected by ordered layers of faithfulness, till knowing who YaHUaH is and who they are. The word then says, Shesh ve'agaman levusha. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. This is temple language. It signals who she is and where she is permitted to stand. Shesh fine linen from flax plant. Linen used for priestly garments, worn by those who approach before YaHUaH, always associated with purity, separation, and preparation. Shen, teeth, consuming fire, refining, purification, what test and cleanse. Shen, repeated, purification upon purification, not surface cleansing, but complete refinement. Fine linen is purity that has passed through fire. It is tested righteousness. A woman of valor understands purification because she understands approach. She knows she cannot stand before the king casually. This garment says, I am prepared to stand before YaHUaH. Agaman, purple. Purple in scripture is reserved for kings, priests, tabernacle furnishings. Aleph, strength, authority, source, power that originates from above. Resh, head, ruler, authority structure, governance, leadership. Gimel, camel, carrier, burden bearer, responsibility, provision for others. Mem, waters, chaos, nation, the world, multitudes. Nun, seed, endurance, life continued. Legacy, faithfulness unto completion. Purple represents authority that carries responsibility for others, flowing from YaHUaH to leadership and to the world with endurance. This is stewardship. Purple is worn by those entrusted to carry weight without breaking. Notice the order. She first makes covering for herself. Only then does linen appear. Linen is priestly. It speaks of purification, readiness, and service. She does not serve others from a place of exposure. She does not carry others until she herself is properly clothed. When a people remain covered, their obedience becomes provision for others. This is Israel remembering how to stand before her king. Covered, ordered, prepared. This is how YaHUaH restores his people by teaching them again how to remain under his covering. When scripture says, her clothing is fine linen and purple, it declares she is purified to approach. She is entrusted with authority. She carries responsibility beyond herself. She stands before the king. She serves on behalf of others. It is like a talit, a garment of remembrance, a sign of covenant, a shelter of obedience. When Yisrael stands beneath the talit, she stands beneath his authority, not her own. The tzitzit threads remind her of his commandments and also that she is not alone. The covering reminds her that protection flows from YaHUaH. The woman of valor understands this. She does not stretch her own tapestry wide until she herself is hidden beneath his. Only what is covered by YaHUaH can become covering for others. Let us ask again, when did you forget you were royalty? When did you stop remembering that you were kept, that you were covered, that you were never meant to guard yourself? This is not a question of worth, but of remembrance. And this is why the psalmist declares that our help comes from YaHUaH alone. Yisrael does not guard herself. YaHUaH guards Yisrael. He is ever watchful, never distant, never asleep. He keeps his people steady. shelters them with his presence, and remains near as a pillar of fire. These are not words alone. They are the covering you keep, a promise spoken over those who choose to remain under his covering now and forever. This is the third garment of the woman of valor, the covering she chooses to remain under as she walks before the king. And so we rest beneath his covering, trusting the one who never sleeps, the one who called you a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a set-apart nation. This is how we remember our King. Shalom.